Hello, 10th grade. Today we will continue with relative clauses. Do you remember relative clauses pronouns? Who, which, that, whose, where, when. Today we have to mention one thing, first thing, which is defining relative clauses. Give essential information about the person or thing that in the main clause. So the main clause would be incomplete without the defining clause. This is the program which I wanted to watch. So the defining relative clauses from which I wanted to watch, connecting with this is the program. This is the program is the main clause, which is very important to put a defining relative clause, which I wanted to watch. Is he the guy? Is he the guy? Is the main clause. We need a defining relative clause, which is who wears customized shirt. Now we have to know something new about omission of relative pronouns. When we can omit نحذف يعني delete the pronouns, relative pronouns. We can omit the relative pronouns if it is the object of the defining relative clause. We cannot omit whose. Whose very important. We cannot delete whose. Whose is will be in the sentence, but another one, which is when it is an object, if the relative pronoun is an object, it's okay, you can omit it. Look, my mom has found the umbrella which she lost yesterday. Look, the umbrella and which with she. Focus, please. She is the subject, so the umbrella is the object. If which related to the object, it's okay, we can omit it. So we can omit which. So it can be my mom has found the umbrella she lost yesterday. Another example, it was the day when I met Mark for the first time. The day is the object, I is the subject. If the day is the object and when is related for it, we can omit when. But remember, whose, we cannot omit it. We cannot omit who, which, that, where, when, if it is the subject of the defining relative clause. What do I mean by that? We are looking for somebody who is honest. Let's try some food that is spicy. Here I can't omit who or that. Why? Because somebody and food are the subjects. So the relative pronouns are the subject. If it is the subject, we cannot omit it. We can't omit who, either that, neither that. And repeating something, if the relative pronoun is object, we can omit it. We can omit this one. But if this is a subject, we cannot omit it. Okay. Whose special case, we cannot omit it at all. I will show you something. In your workbook, you do exercise 4, 3, 2, and 1 last time, if you remember. Page 52, please. Omission of relative pronouns. Which two sentences in exercise 4 here do not need a relative pronoun? Okay. If you answer this exercise, you will see that 3 and 4 is very important to know that they are the subject. CD and the band are the subject. Are the object of the relative pronoun. So we can omit. We don't need something. And cafe, footballer, or shop, these are subject. We cannot omit. So which one we don't need the relative pronoun? 3 and 4, because they are referred to it is the object of the sentence. Exercise 6. Join the sentence. Only use a relative pronoun if it is necessary. Look, this is tasty food. It is also very good for you. Food and it are subject, so it is the subject, so we cannot omit here. This is tasty food, which or that is also very good for you. We just omit it لأنه it food related to the subject, the same subject. We don't need to repeat it. We omit just it. We have to put which or that here. Do you remember that time when we went to Cairo? Do you remember that time? The time object. Here it is object. We went to Cairo. This is the subject, so we can omit. Do you remember that time we went to Cairo? We can omit here because that time is related. The pronoun, relative pronoun, will relate to the object, so we can omit it. So let me tell you a funny story. My sister told me it. Let me tell you a funny story my sister told me. It and story related for the same thing, object. We can omit the relative pronoun, so we say, let me tell you a funny story my sister told me. Have you seen the man who he works in the agency? So the man and he are subjects. If the sentence or relative pronoun related to is a subject, we can't omit them. So have you seen the man who or that, we omit he, works on the agency. This is the cafe. I meet Jane here. Cafe is the subject. Okay, this is the cafe where I met Jane without her. We omit just her. Okay, miss? Omission is very important because I will give you a sentence. You can omit the relative pronoun. If the relative pronoun is object, we can omit it, except whose. If the relative pronoun is a subject, we cannot omit it, never ever. How do I know it is a subject or object? We look to the word before the relative pronoun and what is next. If it is object, omit. If it is a subject, you cannot omit. Okay, focus with this for today. I won't give you any new information after this information, but this information is very important. Okay, omission of relative pronouns is very important. Okay, miss? Thank you for today. Focus with me, focus with me, focus with me. This is the last advice. You should focus for this lesson. Okay, thank you for today. See you next time.